We are back out here at Smallwood Dam, and this dam is getting very near completion at the time of me doing this voiceover. It is July 3rd, so at the time of me probably posting this video on Sunday, 4th of July will already have passed, so happy 4th of July, everybody. So as for the timelines on all these dams, Secord's estimated substantial completion date is in September of this year in 2026. Smallwood, which we're seeing right now, is scheduled for July of 2026, and so far that is on schedule to be completed at or in the near at the end of July. So right here, this Smallwood Lake should be refilling this month. Edenville on Wixom Lake, so that consists of the Edenville Dam and Tobacco River Dam. Wixom Lake will refill in September of 2027, and Sanford has already completed its fill and now is fully complete. They did do a couple of touch-ups down there, finishing up the boat launch, a couple of paint touch-ups on the gates and just stuff here and there to wrap up the site, but I don't think there will be any more construction newsletters posted for the Sanford Dam any longer as that is complete. But here on Smallwood Dam, we will circle around and we'll take a look at the site of where the construction site is in a little bit while, of where most of the construction has been happening. But in this view, we can see a lot of the embankment being graded. So bottom left corner is those siphon tube holes. The Smallwood Dam here was the only one that had those installed to pass the flow of water during the spring, during the initial construction here. They didn't use them again after that point though. A lot of grading here. Look at all this sand that they're leveling off with the dozer, watering it down nicely. And they're also doing this on the Tobacco River Dam. So when I was out here filming this day, I hit all the sites. I went to Edenville, Tobacco River Dam, Secord Dam, and of course here at Smallwood Dam. So be looking out for all of those videos coming very shortly. Secord will be the next update, and then after that we'll wrap up Eden and Tobacco River Dam in the same one. A lot of work happening down there and on all these dams as work is completed here. So we'll gain altitude a little bit. You can see that emergency auxiliary spillway thing is massive, and I will drop in a little bit closer. We'll be able to see this riprap in here, and it's just hard to imagine the size of the spillway, but the size of this riprap too, without actually being out there on site. Some of these are the size of small cars. This is a D5 riprap. So again, this is placed in here to kind of stop any of that high energy flow of water if this bypass is ever needed to be used in the future in the case of a flooding. So again, check out all that riprap that was placed in here a couple years ago when the emergency auxiliary spillway was completed. And we can see where that will overflow from Smallwood Lake when the lake is refilled, if it is ever needed in the future. So it looks like they were able to come back and gain some momentum to get this dam completed at or in the near term here in July, which is when that was estimated to be completed. Some more upcoming milestones is the Tittabawassee Sage Tube cofferdam and diverting of the water flow at Edenville Dam. You can check that out at my live camera. So I have live cameras here on all the dams, and yes, I am fully aware the live camera here at Smallwood Dam has been down for a while. We'll actually see why that is at the end of this video. I went and checked out on that, but they are working on some of the electrical, rerouting that, and getting that in a permanent location fixture. So there has been a lot of work going on in that, completely out of a lot of people's control. It's just a matter of getting the electrical wired. Also, another milestone is the Tobacco left side embankment excavation and drainage system at Edenville. That is a huge project. I was really impressed when I got out there and filmed that with my dam of just, adding a whole bunch more sand to the embankment and regrading it. It is a huge embankment, a huge undertaking to bring in a lot of fill that is being replaced back on the Tobacco Riverside Dam. Embankment and low-level outlet at Secord. So you're not going to see that in this video, but again, that will be my next video. And I believe now at the time of me filming this voiceover, there may even be a gate installed. So a lot of progress there. And the upstream pier extension concrete at Smallwood. So in this view, that has already been completed. A lot of work has been completed on this dam. I can read through that real quickly, but you can see over here on the left-hand side, that gate already installed there, looking phenomenal, and they're working on the right-hand side, prepping that to get the gate installed over there. These walls over here on this side, all complete as well. We'll pan around to the downriver side, and I can tell you a little bit more about what just got completed here at the Smallwood Dam. So, as I said, all remaining work on the left training wall was completed in May. That was a significant structural milestone. The center pier is advancing and is scheduled to reach completion by mid-June. So you can see that center pier that was just in this view. I'll point it out as the drone goes back that way. Gate installation in Bay 1 was underway. I'm reading the June construction newsletter, but you can see that that is now complete. That gate is fully installed there. They set the lower and the upper gate sections, and the electrical teams are actively installing the conduit and wiring throughout the spillway, while the mechanical crew has begun welding heat piping for the horizontal seal system and has successfully completed the initial round of pressure testing. So a lot of work happening here on Smallwood Dam as we near completion. You can see that water exiting the low-level outlet on the left-hand side. We'll come in nice and close here with the drone to be able to view that. The baffle box just exiting the bottom of the screen. Again, those dissipate a lot of the energy as water is flowing over the top of these gates, exiting the dam portion. Again, that left gate over on the left-hand side. And that center pier, you can see right up there at the top, looks like just the pier portion looks like it's complete. I think they're just doing a little bit more concrete pouring of where the hydraulics actually get installed. So we might take a little bit closer look at that a little bit later on in the video, but we are going to continue gaining in altitude and see. I was trying to view what the crane was bringing in here, so I sat in this position for a little while. Drone is probably about 25 to 50 feet above the water in the downstream portion. Upstream portion probably about 25 feet above the water. Crane did seem to stop in that position though, so I wasn't waiting around. We started climbing to 400 feet in altitude. That is the legal limit that I'm able to go to and fly to with the drone to give us that bird's eye perspective. As we climb up to that height, people usually ask how can they go ahead and support the channel. As always, you can check out the links in the description down below. There are links for my Patreon account. Patrons get exclusive first look access to what I am out here working on, early access to photos and videos as soon as I'm done filming out here at the dams that get posted. So you're able to see those right away before anyone else. There's also links to PayPal. So PayPal doesn't take out any fees if you donate through that area, as well as Coffee. You can go on Coffee and send money for a tank of gas, contribute to a tank of gas, or send me money for a drink. It's kind of a cool little website as well. And they also do not take out any fees. All that money comes directly to me and supports me in filming updates here on all of the dams on the four lakes. So I was just kind of getting a nice view of the crane. I was actually kind of seeing how high it was. When I was up there at 400 feet in altitude, it seemed really high. As I started dropping in altitude, I think it was around 250 feet high that this crane actually is. Always got to keep an eye out when I'm out there filming with the drone. That's probably the biggest obstacle, is running into any of those cables that are coming down from the crane. So have to make sure I know which position it is moving and angled to. We'll come over here though, kind of see that gate there. So that is the last gate here that needs to be placed on Smallwood Dam. And at the time of me filming this voiceover, it very well could be completed. I really want to get the live cameras back up and operational here as soon as possible, as much as you guys do. But what is happening right now is just out of our control. We got to wait for the electricians to complete their work here. Awesome seeing the gate here staged, ready to install though. That is going to be the left gate. And we'll start panning over here to the right. We'll take a quick view of the materials that are left here on site. Not a whole lot left. You can see a bunch of the forms for the concrete left here, and some steel, a little bit of rebar left, a little bit more for those concrete forms that need to be placed yet. A couple of H-beams or I-beams, whatever you want to call them, in the center of the screen there. And as we come over here into the top of the screen. You'll also see a couple more of those gate components. So those are the seal portion of the crest gates. You can see a little bit of that and how those get tied in when the concrete gets poured between the current structure of the concrete walls and then the seal structure that goes between the crest gates and the concrete walls. So we'll pan around now. We'll fly back over this direction. We are now facing due southeast. So we'll fly back over here again, get a nice view of the dam before we go out and check the electrical building, the C container, the Connex container over there on the right hand side that does house the components for the live camera. But before we finished up the flight, I did want to come over here one more time so the crane had not been moving and drop down and get a little bit close-up view of what the crews were currently working on. Again, you can see all those concrete pours pretty much complete on the training walls as well as the center pier. And the last thing is this form right here. It has the rebar inside of it where the HPUs or the hydraulic power units do attach and connect to be able to raise and lower those gates. Nice look at the low-level outlet control structure. That building that used to be the old powerhouse has been converted and is able to pass flows in the middle of winter to decrease the icing up of the crest gates on the dam. So if you're passing that flow through that low-level outlet, you don't need to pass flow over the top of the crest gates, and therefore eliminating the icing up and subsequent needing to remove of that ice during the winter time. So you can see over here to the left of the double wide trailer, this C container, this Connex container, this is where the live camera is mounted, and you'll notice the forms right here in front of that. That is what has been waiting on needing to be poured, and it has been poured at the time of this voiceover. So hopefully that's getting moved, tied in, and that live camera mounted to this container will be back live very shortly. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button down below. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave any questions and comments you have down below. Thanks for watching, and make sure you hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. Also, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next videos I will be posting, and leave your questions, comments, and suggestions below. As always, I just want to give a massive thanks to the people who support me on Patreon. Never underestimate the value of your contribution to keeping this channel going. Thank you.